Здравствуйте. Как дела? Hello, hello. Abraham. Abraham to you and yours, both mankind, creatures alike. This is the second video of this fantastically informative chapter 19 of the book of Judges. And yeah, we're not getting into a really pretty picture here. We began with sin, and this sin is going to be aggrandizing. All right, so let's continue on with this mysterious Levite pursuing his wife, and the father-in-law not wanting him to leave, being very generous and cordial. His son-in-law would not condescend to the father-in-law's words, but forthwith went forward and came over against a place called Jebus. Iebus, folks, and Abe had another name. You recall what that is? Ierusalem, or Jerusalem, as most of you pronounce it. Ierusalem. Leading with him 2 asses laden full, and his concubine. So here we are, Jerusalem. So he's finally leaving. After this third try, he's finally leaving. Everything's coming in threes, it seems. But did you catch that? Samuel doesn't write wife on this. He writes concubine. Why is that? Now in verses 1 and 9, this woman was identified by Samuel as his wife. Yet here she is called concubine. Why? It's actually very simple. She had no dowry. Back in those days, dowry meant a lot. So, having no dowry, she has yet enjoyed the privileges of a mistress in her husband's house. Now this coincides directly with why her father was so tenacious in trying to repair the strained relationship between this married couple. Finances. Yeah, he was very tenacious in keeping his son-in-law there, but what do you think they talked about? It wasn't just about life, about a servant or the asses or the equipment he brought. No, they were talking about his daughter or his wife. And we've addressed this before. Remember with Mighty Samson, the second woman, she was addressed as such, but she was a housekeeper, innkeeper rather. All right, so the Levite apparently, from what I'm gathering, possessed more wealth than the father-in-law and his daughter, although probably not by much. But we have to remember that the son-in-law's wealth evolved from donations. So although he had more wealth than the father and the daughter, it's not by much, but still. 2 asses he brought with him, a servant. Now, as instructed by Moses and Jehoshua, the Levites received land and beast and coin through the donations of the other 11 tribes. And if not the wealth, 'twas certainly the prestige of having a Levite for son-in-law. I mean, to be a priest of God, that was well celebrated. Well celebrated. In some families, it still is. If a son becomes a priest, it is so rejoiced in some families. All right, let's continue on. And now, so they're traveling. They come near to Jebus, Jerusalem. And the day changed into night. And the servant says to the master, the Levite, come, I beseech thee, let us turn into the city of Iebusites and tarry in it. So he's asking his master, he's telling his master we should stay in the city of Jerusalem. So to whom his master answered, I will not enter into the town of a strange nation, which is not of the children of Israel, but I will pass as far as Gaba. Gaba is north. So they are here, near Jerusalem, and he wants to continue on to Gaba. And when I shall come thither, we will lodge in it, or at least in the city, if not Gaba. Within a couple clicks or so, is another village called Ramah. So if they can't stand Gaba, they'll stand Ramah. And this is the end result. This is where it comes from, Ephraim Mountain. Town of a strange nation. What does that mean? I mean, this is Jerusalem, Jebus. Let's explore it. This sincerely tells us just how bad things progressed throughout Israel during this time. The reason for these dark times is twofold. QUI EST's followers have turned from him and instead have overwhelmingly accepted heretical religions and paganism for their faith. Not, as I've mentioned before, not completely turning to that, but it's more of a combination of taking what they know from Moses and applying it to these heretical religions. It's the exact same thing with the religions today. None of them are original, not one. They're all taken from the religion of QUI EST. Every single one of them. Number two, Israel lacks leadership. I'm not saying kingly, but they do have leaders. Moses and QUI EST ensured, but they are not being heeded to. Priests are now ignored. Chief priest isn't even consulted anymore. What about the elected leaders? The Jerusalem township was assigned by Yehoshua to the tribe of Judah. Apparently, that is no longer the case, as the son-in-law flatly states the city of Jebus isn't even controlled by any Israeli tribe. This is just one of several times Jerusalem shall be invaded and will be occupied by people other than the Israelites or the giants which were there before them. The strength, the unity, and the success of Homo sapiens, like our blessed Israeli forefathers, revolves wholly about the Church of Jesus. Flat out fact, period. We sway from that, we falter as a species. And you need look no further than your Israeli forefathers. This is why this is identified for us to read about the mistakes. And it's every time they step away from QUI EST's church, look at the garbage they get into. It's the exact same thing with mankind today. Nothing is original what we're doing. Nothing is new. We are just repeating our sinful mistakes since the flood, only not as treacherously, over over and over. And a lot may be due to the leadership of quiescent princes, of his clergy. Weak. From the top down, it's sad to say. As the church advances and progresses on this planet, so too does mankind. And we will see this. We will read it as we progress through this Old Testament, this exact statement. All right, when we next meet, they're going to pass by Jebus and continue on their journey to Gaba. What's in store for them next? Something ugly is coming. Be prepared. So until next we meet, anything to add? Abe? He's just out there cleaning himself. Until next we meet. Box movies. Say goodbye, Abe.